So 10 subtle signs a woman is unhappy in her marriage. Now, if you're ready to dive in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update right here on this channel. Let's get started. My name is Jessica. So marriage is a journey filled with ups and downs, and sometimes the signs of unhappiness can be subtle. Today we're going to explore 10 not so obvious signs that may indicate that a woman is unhappy in her marriage with you. Remember, it's important to be attentive and compassionate to the needs of your partner. I just need to establish that. Let's begin. So sign 1 is changes in sleep pattern. Now, these usually occur due to anxiety and stress because she's overwhelmed by negative emotions. It becomes difficult for her to relax and fall asleep. Racing thoughts, worry, tension can keep her awake and cause her to wake up frequently during the night, even if she falls asleep. If a woman starts experiencing insomnia, difficulty falling asleep, or consistently restless nights, it's an indication of an underlying unhappiness in her marriage. Pay attention to these patterns and explore ways to address them at the root. Okay? Sign number 2 is frequent mental distraction. Has your partner been unusually mentally distracted lately? Do you realize she seems preoccupied or zoned out during conversations or activities together? If a woman's mind seems elsewhere most of the time, it's a sign that she's struggling emotionally in her marriage. Unhappiness in a marriage can contribute to feelings of depression as well. Take note, depression often disrupts sleep patterns, leading to either excessive sleep or insomnia. Some women find themselves sleeping excessively as a way of escaping their emotions, while others may struggle with insomnia, finding it very hard to fall asleep or stay asleep. If you realize that your wife is going through these, encourage open dialogue and active listening. It can help you create a safe space for her to really be able to express her concerns and open up the way that she needs to. Number 3 is diminished self-care. You know how one telltale sign of a woman who feels vibrant, happy, alive is the fact that she's constantly working on how she looks or presents herself, whether she's home or not? Self-care is essential for overall well-being. But when a woman's self-care routine starts to wane, it indicates unhappiness. If you notice over a period of time that she no longer puts any efforts into her looks or being presentable while she's with you or at home, there could be a brewing problem, especially if the woman is someone who used to do all these things. Look out for neglecting personal grooming, a decline in dressing up, or a general lack of interest in taking good care of herself. Offering support and reminding her of the importance of self-love can make a positive impact. Don't just brush it under the rug and say it's one of those things. Everything matters and everything is important. 4th sign is changes in appetite. Now, this one you really need to pay attention to. Significant changes in appetite can be another not so obvious sign of unhappiness. Pay attention to any sudden weight loss or weight gain, as well as a loss of interest in food or emotional eating. Now, these things can be a manifestation of underlying emotional turmoil and should be addressed with care and understanding. Now, what a lot of men do that eventually works against them, I think, is when they realize that their wife is suddenly gaining weight or losing it unintentionally, they ridicule them, call them names, and are generally extremely unsupportive. Note, not all weight gain is due to excessive food, and not all weight loss is due to calorie restriction. Now, instead of being unsupportive and judgmental, ensure that you draw closer to find out if there's something that you should know. The way you approach her matters. The way you approach the situation will elicit positive or negative results. For marriages to thrive, empathy, care, understanding are very, very important. Don't just sweep it under the rug, okay? Number 5, avoiding social interactions. Now, before I go into this pointer, remember today's video is supported by the secret KT1000 recorder from Night Security. Don't let a cheat get away with it. With a Night KT1000 recorder, you can get the peace of mind you deserve. Thanks, Night Security, for supporting this video. Back to it. So the 5th sign a woman is unhappy in her relationship is she begins to avoid social interactions. Now, when a woman begins to withdraw from social interactions, it can be an indication that something's wrong. If she starts declining invitations or avoiding gatherings with friends and family, it may signify a lack of emotional fulfillment. You may feel fed up with trying. You may even think that she's up to one of her usual antics. Hell, you may even call her antisocial or annoying. You need to understand that when a woman isn't in the right frame of mind, the last thing she wants to do is to go out and pretend. I mean, she knows that her ill feelings will end up being projected on the party, on the group. She knows she won't be able to hide her unhappiness, so she'll rather avoid all that social interaction. Now, I'm not talking about women who are naturally antisocial. I'm talking about your wife especially if she was someone who loved to go out with you and suddenly all that seems to have ceased. There's a problem. You need to have proper dialogue to find out what's going on with her and to gently encourage her to engage in social activities and build a supportive network, even if it's a new one, right? That can help her alleviate her feelings of isolation. Number 6, lack of future planning. A decrease in future planning or a lack of enthusiasm for making long-term plans can also be a subtle sign of unhappiness. If a woman seems disinterested in discussing future goals or avoids conversations about future plans as a couple, it may indicate a sense of disillusionment. Now, sometimes her fears will stem from the fact that a lot of men do not know how to share their future plans, right? Perhaps for a long time she's felt cut off from you. Perhaps for a long time she's felt a disconnect, or maybe you did something she found extremely disappointing. To protect her heart and to protect her sanity, to bring her back to a place where she feels like she's part of your future, you're going to have to learn to be an open book with her, to remove all her personal doubts about you and the fact that perhaps you have another future planned with somebody else, right? You need to bring her into conversations, make future plans together, ask her questions. What are her own plans and how they match up with yours? Creating a safe space to discuss dreams and aspirations can reignite the sense of partnership. Number 7, loss of spontaneity. Spontaneity is a vital element in a vibrant marriage, but when it starts to fade, it can be a sign of unhappiness. If a woman becomes resistant to trying new things or participating in activities that used to bring joy, it's crucial to understand the underlying reasons behind the change. Is it something you said or did in the present or in the past? Or have you unknowingly been shooting her down, for instance, anytime she tries to suggest you do something together as a couple? If you really want your marriage to thrive, encouraging shared adventures and rediscovering shared interests can revitalize that relationship. For example, in the middle of the day, show up at her office one day, take her out for lunch. It's spontaneous, it's completely unexpected, it's surprising, and it's a display of love on full show for everybody to see. Trust me, her colleagues will hear about it the minute that you bring her back to the office about how you surprised her. My guy, you need to think outside the box. When you're unpredictable, you remain exciting. When you're seen to be making an effort, it will be met with love and appreciation from your woman. Sign number 8 is excessive busyness. Excessive busyness can serve as a distraction or coping mechanism for underlying marital dissatisfaction. If a woman suddenly fills her schedule to the brim with work, hobbies, volunteer stuff, it may be an attempt to escape the unhappiness that she's feeling. You're obviously preoccupied with your own day-to-day and most likely will not even notice this uptick of activity in her life. Take it from me. When a woman is getting to a point where she feels helpless about a situation, one of the things she will do is to try to busy herself. Pay attention. Take note. It's important to foster open communication and create a balance between personal pursuits and quality time together. Make time for quality time, and this problem will go away. Sign number 9 is sarcasm and humor as defense mechanisms. Pay attention to how sarcasm and humor are used in your interactions with your partner. Excessive sarcasm or using humor as a defense mechanism may indicate underlying happiness. When a woman consistently resorts to these behaviors, it can be a way of masking her true emotions. There may be times where you find yourself at the end of dry jokes, dry humor. Your wife is not trying to be funny. She's actually telling you something that you haven't been listening to. I encourage you to peel the onion layers away so you can actually hear her deep cry for help. She's not just being sarcastic. She's telling you something. At this point, I'll suggest that you encourage her to be open and vulnerable with you. Create a space where she can tell you anything without feeling judged or unheard or feeling like she's whining. You'll be surprised at what you find. Encouraging vulnerability and fostering a safe environment for authentic communication is important. Finally, loss of emotional connection. This is an often overlooked sign of unhappiness in a woman's marriage. If the emotional bond between partners weaken, it can create a sense of distance and loneliness. Nurturing emotional intimacy through quality time, heartfelt conversations, and shared experiences is crucial in rebuilding and strengthening the connection. Remember, women are emotional beings, right? If the emotional component of her daily interactions with you are lost, it's a sign of a deep-rooted problem. Does she used to want to be held by you? Does she enjoy frequent intimacy? Are all these waning? Sit up, pay attention, and you will see things that you weren't seeing prior. And that concludes today's video. Remember, it's essential to be observant and attentive to the signs that may indicate that your wife is unhappy. If you're not paying attention, you'll never truly know. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with anyone who might benefit from it as well. I'll appreciate that. Subscribe to the channel for more relationship tips and advice. And if you have a topic that you'd absolutely want me to address, you can also drop that in the comments below. My name is Jessica. I'll catch you in the next video.